The date, September 19th, 2017. Mexico City is hit with a devastating 7.1 magnitude earthquake. Now, a school is among the buildings that collapsed. Many children and adults are trapped in the rubble. One 12-year-old girl, however, captured the imagination and attention of the media and the public, Frida Sofia. She called out from the rubble and claimed that she was trapped. Her name was Frida Sofia, she said. Both rescuers and journalists confirmed her existence through claims of conversations and seeing her fingers move in the rubble and by using a thermal scanner. She became a symbol of hope that the city rallied around during this time of turmoil. The school came forward to state that they had all the children accounted for and that there was no one among them named Frida Sofia. Who was she? Was she a passing child that somehow got caught during the earthquake in all of the rubble? Could she have been a ghost from an earlier earthquake that happened there 32 years previously to the day? With multiple witness accounts, how can this be explained? Welcome to another episode of Ask a Paranormal Investigator. This time we will be looking at the case of Frida Sofia. To help dig for the truth, click that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of content. This subject was submitted by a subscriber, and I really appreciate you guys chiming in when you want me to check something out. Okay, so let's check this out. TikToker @CreepyTime claims that this is a completely unexplained case of a girl who never existed. Now, the link is in the description if you want to check it out. Now, I won't say that this case is solved, but I will say that it's explained. See, many people are not familiar with Occam's razor, so I'm going to give you a simpler version of it. This is Matthew Baxter's chart of how not to jump to conclusions. Let's take a quick look at this chart. What we have here is the simple explanation of something down here in the small area, meaning that it's concise and it makes sense. And then as the explanations go down the road, they become kind of harder to accept and a little more improbable till we get to a paranormal explanation. Now, there could be multiple paranormal explanations, but to give this a little bit of an example, let's say that you're lying in bed at night and you hear this scratching against your window. Now, it could be Bigfoot. It could be a ghost. It could be a witch. It could be a werewolf or a vampire. A lot of paranormal possibilities there. But that's not where you jump to. That's not the conclusion you leap to, because it is the most improbable of all of the explanations. So you start with a simple explanation. Could be that tree that you have outside your window. The wind could be blowing and causing the branches to scrape back and forth. It could be a raccoon wanting to figure out how to get in. You might have mice in your walls, for all you know. It could be that your friend has come over and is trying to wake you up for some nefarious mission you need to go on. There are lots of possible explanations. Now, some may be more improbable than others, but the thing is you need to really rule out the simple explanations and rule them out soundly. You know, the tree outside your window, well, maybe you don't have a tree outside your window, so that explanation doesn't work. You know, maybe you have no friends, you know, so no one's going to be scratching on your window. In that sense, the thing is you rule out the possible explanations before you jump to the paranormal one. Now, in this particular case, it was basically 24 hours of digging and searching. Hope was dwindling when reports came in that there was a girl alive in the rubble. Now, there was hope and a reason to keep digging and searching. Now, details are blurry as to who made the first claim, but they were relayed to Televisa reporter Danielle Ditterbide. She reported that the rescuers had relayed to her that there was a 12-year-old girl that they had located with a thermal scanner. Subsequent contact with the girl revealed her name, Frida Sofia. Her last name was being withheld by authorities, it was reported. Later that evening, a rescuer and electrician was interviewed. He claimed to hear the faint voice of a girl, and he claimed that the girl told him that her name was Sophie. She said it twice, Sophie, Sophie. Now, the next day, the New York Times, among other news organizations, published this report. Rescue worker Paul Rodrigo Hernandez Ayala came out from the site Wednesday night and said that the girl is alive. She has vital signs, the news agency reported, and that 5 more children have been located alive. There is a basement where they found children. According to the report, helmeted workers spotted the girl buried in the debris early Wednesday and shouted to her to move her hand if she could hear. She did, and a rescue dog was sent inside to confirm she was alive. One rescuer told the media that he had talked to the girl, who said her name was Frida. So I need to kind of point out something here. The rescue dog that was sent inside to confirm she was alive was possibly named Frida. There was a rescue dog on site named Frida, just so you know. It is also believed that those fingers belonged to a 58-year-old woman employee whose body was later pulled from the rubble. Now, I hope a picture of what really happened here is starting to form for you. When the creepy version of this story is told, these details are left out. And also the fact that this girl who had these vital signs, we don't know if it's even in the same location as where the first report was coming from, in all this rubble. We don't know if these reports all were centered on the exact same place. It seems that there were many children located and rescued throughout this event. Simple misreporting from lack of information, assumptions, the desire for sensationalism, all could have led to this. It's that same sensationalism that leads to stories like this being retold on TikTok with zero fact-checking being done. Now, there are 2 sides to this, however. We can't now claim that this case is solved. There's still too many unknowns. We can say that the odds are that this was just a case of what is known as collective psychosis. And leave it at that until more information surfaces. It's also completely fine and encouraged to just say, I don't know. Please don't rely on these storytellers to fact check for you. You have Google. It takes far less time than you think, and you'll feel a whole lot smarter for it. I want to thank you guys for joining me in another episode of Ask a Paranormal Investigator. Feel free to state down in the comments what you'd like me to address next time. And until then, don't get locked into being a believer or a cynic, because both sides have been wrong. Just be inquisitive. We'll see you next time.